Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, we're jumping right into the hidden, highly volatile, high-stakes game of global trade. We're talking about a world where your choice of a simple metal box literally dictates the survival of your business. So, if you're moving goods across the planet, this is absolutely the masterclass you need. Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover everything from the million-dollar metal box and the global workhorses to specialized shipping solutions, the master decision framework, margin protection strategies, and finally, how to future-proof your trade. Let's get into it.
Section 1. The million-dollar metal box and high-stakes logistics.
I really want you to think about this massive 15 to 30% figure. Choosing the incorrect container can silently add that much to your total landed cost. No joke. Global freight rates are incredibly volatile right now, and, well, port congestion is just a constant threat. Making the wrong equipment choice? It means you are bleeding money through unexpected cargo damage, severe demurrage penalties, or incredibly costly manual rework at the terminal.
Our source material really hits the nail on the head here, stating, the wrong shipping container can turn a profitable deal into a costly nightmare. The author actually learned this the hard way. They lost thousands on temperature-sensitive goods simply because they were shipped in a standard dry container, which resulted in a total rejection at the destination. It just goes to show this isn't some boring technical detail about boxes. It is about pure survival.
Moving right along to Section 2. Meet the global workhorses. Dry containers.
So we've got the absolute essentials broken down here. You know them, your 20-foot TEU, your 40-foot FEU, and your 40-foot high cube. But I want to draw your attention to that 40-foot high cube. That extra foot of height, it's a massive advantage for voluminous but lighter cargo, like garments. Utilizing that extra space can actually reduce your total container count, which saves you serious money against those constantly rising fuel costs.
Now this is a real game changer if you export to Europe. Standard ISO containers actually waste billable space because their internal clearance leaves awkward gaps around standard Euro pallets. But pallet-wide containers unlock a 20% load capacity increase simply by eliminating that wasted internal clearance. You jump from fitting 25 pallets up to 30 pallets. And because the goods are locked tightly together, you drastically reduce cargo damage during rough sea transits. It's a win-win.
All right, Section 3, Specialized Shipping Solutions. We're talking the heavy lifters and the lifesavers.
First up, we've got reefers. These are literally the lifesavers of the fleet, maintaining exact, dialed-in temperatures for high-value goods like pharmaceuticals and fresh produce. But here is a massive pro tip. You must always pre-cool your cargo before loading. A reefer is designed to maintain temperature, not drop the temperature of hot cargo. Trust me, failing to do this leads to devastating rejections at customs.
Next up are the open-top containers. Now these heavy lifters usually command a 10 to 25% premium over standard dry containers, but they easily prevent the exorbitant costs of disassembling industrial equipment. You can literally just use an overhead factory crane to drop awkward machinery right in. It saves hours of manual forklifting and tight door maneuvering.
And for the truly massive stuff, we rely on flat racks. Think construction vehicles, boats, wind turbine components, you name it. Because there are no sides or roof to contain the load, professional lashing and dunnage are absolute non-negotiables here. You have to keep that massive weight properly distributed. So whatever you do, do not cut corners on your port workers and stevedores.
Then we have ISO tanks, the specialists of the sea. These are used for liquids, chemicals, and pressurized gases. Because of the extreme safety risks involved, ISO tanks demand strict professional cleaning certificates and full IMDG code compliance. That's the International Rules for Dangerous Goods, and you need it to avoid instant rejection at rigorous international ports.
Rounding out the crew, we literally have solutions for every possible scenario. Take ventilated containers, often called coffee containers. They stop catastrophic container rain by allowing passive airflow for cargo that breathes and releases moisture. Or look at half-height containers. They lower the center of gravity and are perfectly optimized to handle immense payload density, keeping you well within road and port weight limits.
Section 4. The Container Decision Framework, also known as your master playbook.
So how do we actually choose? Well, it builds a 4-layer strategy, ensuring a perfect balance of budget, compliance, and cargo protection. You start by analyzing the baseline reality of your cargo. Is it heavy, bulky, hazardous? Then you assess your transit routes. Third, you calculate the true landed cost, not just the spot rate. And finally, evaluate the return logistics so you don't get hit with heavy empty repositioning charges from the carrier.
Now, focusing closely on that route and port assessment. A container setup that works beautifully on paper can fail miserably if it doesn't align with digital custom systems or intense sea-to-rail intermodal networks. Advanced interfaces like Bayyan 2.0 in the GCC are totally automated. They will automatically flag slight discrepancies in your manifest or your tare weight. That's the weight of the empty container itself. If your specs don't match the digital declaration perfectly, immediate delays, which just compounds your holding fees.
Let's jump to Section 5, Strategies to Protect Margins by Optimizing the Journey.
You absolutely have to leverage dynamic 3D loading algorithms. It prevents warehouse crews from just eyeballing the load, which effectively drives down overhead and avoids unbalanced containers. Ensuring standardized containers minimizes damage during multimodal transitions. Also, locking in equipment 4 to 6 weeks ahead of time beats those nasty peak season spot rate spikes. Oh, and you must always execute a 7-point container condition inspection before loading. Seriously, step inside, close the doors, look for micro pinholes of light. If light gets in, water gets in.
Okay, we have to talk about the absolute villains of the logistics world: demurrage and detention. Demurrage hits you when your box sits at the terminal too long. Detention hits when you hold the equipment outside the port for too long. You've got to fight them by proactively negotiating 14 days of combined free time with your forwarder before you ever book, and always set up automated alerts 48 hours before that free time lapses.
Finally, Section 6, Future-Proofing Global Trade with Technology and Strategy.
Look, embracing digital tools is what separates the amateurs from the professionals today. Smart containers with embedded IoT tracking offer GPS, temperature, humidity, and shock sensors. Utilizing these, alongside advanced planning platforms like platform.tendify.net, gives you undeniable hard proof of handling conditions. This data drastically reduces insurance claims and streamlines your cost calculations before the cargo ever leaves the dock.
So, mastering these seemingly minute details is what unlocks those massive profit margins. It really leaves us with one final vital question. Is your supply chain paying to ship empty air? Because if you aren't optimizing your volume, choosing the precise specialized box, and fighting detention fees, you are just leaving money on the table. Take these frameworks, assess if your current strategy is truly optimized for survival, and stop paying for inefficiency. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.